All right, for the sake of timing, I'm going to jump in. Hello, everyone. My name is Grace Sullivan Zirkle. I serve as the Director of New Student and Family Programs, which means it's my privilege to help support all of our incoming students as they transition to the university and to support all of our families throughout their students' undergraduate career. I'm thrilled that you all are here today for our summer transition series titled Duke 101 with the Office of Undergraduate Education. This is also a special webinar today because it is, in addition, a co-webinar with our parent and family orientation series. So if you're a parent or family member joining us today, so glad you're here. Welcome. And I hope you all will tune in for the rest of our parent and family programming for the rest of the summer. Really quick, I'm going to go over a few housekeeping items before we start, but the point of this is to connect you to experts on campus who know more about the Duke experience and can share with you what it will be like to be a student here, and answer some of your questions. So a few things about our Zoom webinar feature. The chat below has been disabled. So if you have questions for us, if you can put those in the Q&A feature below, that would be great. Some responses you might receive a type answer to. Some questions you might have a verbal answer to. But today we're going to hear from our colleagues in the Office of Undergraduate Education, and then they're going to take some of those questions live. So if you have questions throughout the session, if you'll put that in the Q&A, that will help us track and understand what questions are out there, outstanding questions. And our goal is to get through as many of those as possible before the end of the hour. We're also recording this webinar. So hello if you are watching the recording in the future. But if you're here live, that also means that all of this wisdom will be captured and put online later. So if you miss something, know that you can review it later. If you give us about 48 hours, we will have this transcribed and up on our website, and you'll be able to review the recording the same place that you registered, whether that's our student summer transition series page or our parent and family orientation page. So with that, I am going to hand things over to our Office of Undergraduate Education staff and my dear colleague, Catherine Inks.
Thank you, Grace. Good afternoon and welcome to Duke 101. I'm Catherine Enks. As Grace had mentioned, I'll be the moderator for today's webinar. Um, for the first half of our program today, we're going to have a conversation with some of the amazing folks that work here at the Office of Undergraduate Education. And then about 35 minutes in, we'll open it up to your questions, and I'll pop back in to pull questions from the Q&A and ask them live in the conversation. As Grace mentioned, you can drop those questions in the Q&A. And throughout our conversation, if there are important links that make sense for you to have, I'll drop them in the chat so that you can get more information through the websites. So let me jump right into introductions. Dr. Lee D. Baker is our Vice Provost for Undergraduate Education. He leads the Office of Undergraduate Education, which supports the academic lives of both Trinity and Pratt students here on campus. Reed Culver is our Associate Director of the Academic Resource Center. Ariana Duomo is a recent Duke grad, class of 2024, and the Office of Undergraduate Education's Nowicki Fellow. And Dr. Sechelle Ford is the Director of Duke Life Office. Thank you all for joining us today. I am going to turn off my camera and let you take it away, Lee.
Thank you so much. We're really looking forward to welcoming this incoming class, and we're really excited that the incoming students will be joining us very, very shortly. It's going to be sooner than you know it, right? I think it's also important to put some context in this. We've been doing this for many, many years. I know for many students, this is, I mean, obviously it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity, but we've been working with student affairs. If you see move-in day, it is amazing. It works like clockwork. I mean, and so we've got you. And I know there's a lot of nerves and a lot of like trying to get all the answers and all the classes right, but just hopefully we're here to answer some questions. And we've got a great team, just a sliver of my team actually, but some great representation. So hopefully we can answer some questions and have a great seminar. So one question I want to ask to all of my colleagues here, thanks so much for taking your time out and doing this, is what does intellectual community look like at Duke?
Yeah, I can actually start with that question. As Catherine mentioned, I recently graduated in 2024, and I now work in the office as an Wiki Fellow. So I've got a really interesting opportunity and chance to see what it's like as a student firsthand, this intellectual community, and to learn a little bit more about the details behind the scenes. So a few opportunities I think that come to mind for me is our faculty and residents. So this is where you'll have professors in your first year halls. There's a lot of interaction, whether that's informal with food and chats and office hours and open doors, or it can be a little bit more structured. The professor might have talks related to things happening on campus or to their background, or they might even invite other professors to come and speak with you guys, or they might even have opportunities in Durham and take you downtown or to the farmers market. So that's a really great opportunity to engage a little bit intellectually just from your dorm. I'm also thinking about flunch, which is faculty lunch, invitation to eat for free with a professor who's maybe teaching your math course or anything like that, and invite them out to eat on campus and all our dining that we offer here on campus. And I also think it's a great way to let them kind of know who you are outside of the classroom and also get a great chance to know who your professors and instructors are outside of the classroom and get to know them a little bit more personally and on a deeper level. And then I've also,
Ariana, let me just jump in here.
yeah.
Flunch is a fan favorite, isn't it? I mean, students love to go on flunch, and professors actually love it too. It's like, oh, so many students flunched me, and it's almost like a bragging rights of how many students get to flunch. So make sure
Yeah.
you do flunch your professors. It's fun, and students and faculty both like it a lot.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's always great to hear that. And I still remember some of the flunch conversations I had as a student. And similar with food and conversation is something that we have that's undergraduate led called Duke Conversations. So this is actually an opportunity where your professor or a professor or instructor, someone on campus will pick a theme to discuss with students, and it will be centered around dinner in their home. So I know that there was a conversation with President Price at one point. Nowicki, Dr. Nowicki had one on arts and sciences and conversations like that. So it's really great to just deep dive on a topic that the professor finds interesting, and then students can kind of chime in and get to know that professor over dinner in their home. I think another topic that would be great to touch on when we talk about intellectual community is engaging in research. So really briefly, I'll just mention both Muser and Bass Connections. Muser is a platform where researchers might post about projects and students can apply several times throughout the year. It's a lot of really cool and interesting, engaging work, and it also just gives you a really great insight into what's happening here at Duke. I mean, I remember frequently just reading through the new projects as they were posted because it's so interesting to see what's happening at the intersection of computer science and linguistics and AI or physics and religion and philosophy. So I recommend that for students who want to dip their toes into research, as well as Bass Connections, which is also an opportunity to do some interdisciplinary research work in teams with graduate students, other undergraduates, professors. You can do a lot of things over the summer in a more intensive program or in a semester or even applying for a research grant. So I definitely recommend for students to check out those opportunities.
We also have, this is again, my name is Reed. I'm with the Academic Resource Center. And one of the opportunities that we actually provide is a peer intellectual community. It's actually a STEM learning community called SAGE, STEM Advancement Through Group Engagement. And it's a great opportunity for students to work together throughout the semester, specifically around the content, but also the strategies and the learning approaches for a particular course. And they're learning from their peers and they are working in community. Because one of the things that we've really learned over the years and gets reinforced again and again is that learning in community is an incredibly powerful process. Among other things, let students know that they are not alone. Everybody's got questions and are figuring this all out. And so when they're able to do that together and they're led by one of our peer facilitators who have already gone through these specific courses and have a particular insight, and then we train them on really how to have these conversations and how to approach the learning process, it's a great opportunity to kind of engage in that intellectual life level with your peers.
Hi, everyone. I'm Seychelle. I'm from the Duke Life office. And as you're hearing from my colleagues, Reed and Ariana, Duke has so many amazing opportunities. And it's one of the most exciting things, I think, about getting started at Duke. And at the same time, if you're a first-year college student or really any incoming college student, it might also be a little bit overwhelming to think about how do I navigate all these many different kinds of opportunities? When do I take advantage of them? How do I take advantage of them? And so what we've done in Duke Life is we've created some opportunities for you to connect with other students, as well as faculty and other administrators like myself and Reed and Ariana to get that guidance that you might need to take advantage of the opportunities. So one is if you're a Duke Life student, you'll get an invitation this summer for a peer mentor program, which connects you with an older Duke Life student or a more experienced Duke Life student
Can you
who's
tell
here.
the audience a little, Seychelle, what Duke
Oh,
Life is and what the
sure. Yeah.
office mission is? Because
Yep.
some might not know.
Duke Life, we're an office in OUE that supports our first generation and highly aided or lower income undergraduate students. If you're a Duke Life student, you have probably already heard from us. We are a little bit annoying with the emails and even the physical mail sent home. So hopefully you know that you're a Duke Life. If you're like, ooh, I feel like I should be Duke Life, but haven't received anything yet, then email us at dukelife@duke.edu and we will get back to you and just check our roster. So we're over here in Smith Warehouse and we will keep emailing you lots of things. So another email you'll receive in July is our peer mentor program that connects you with an older Duke Life student who just wants to share their network with you, the experience that they've gained and the wisdom they've gained over their time here at Duke. Anything from what classes do I think about taking, or what professor teaching this class or this section versus that one? When do I think about studying away, and how do I talk to the global education office about studying away and how that fits in to my 4-year plan here? What do I pack for the dorm? And I know NSFP does great work around that too, but if you want to hear from a student as well. And then once you get here in August, we will connect you through our Ascend program with another small group of other incoming Duke Life students headed by a Duke Life student leader, an older Duke Life student, that'll physically take you around campus over 6 weeks, take you to different events and programs and open houses on campus. In some of the programs that Reed and Ariana and lots of other colleagues would talk about, just to give you a kind of guided or way to kind of navigate the physical on-campus space, but also just, have a community of folks to go to these programs with so it's not intimidating, it feels even more accessible. So that's kind of how some of the ways we're thinking about intellectual community in Duke Life.
Sounds great. We also have a global education office, and students are thinking about maybe studying abroad in the summer. I mean, actually, that between the first year and sophomore year is a great time to do a Duke in summer program. So that's part of the advising that one should avail themselves to. One piece of intellectual community that I think is very poignant, and it lasts actually 4 years, is students that are in a focus program. That's a living learning community in the residence halls. So that's a built-in community. And I have taught in focus program for many years, and I believe that that is one of the sort of foundational intellectual communities, because then that transcends, you move together to a quad on West Campus in that same constituency, in that same community, kind of moves all 4 years. And so that becomes a really tight intellectual community as well. But when you're thinking about intellectual communities, working with faculty, whether it's advisors, pre-health, pre-law, I mean, I think it's incumbent upon students to almost put together a board of advisors, because not one advisor is going to be excellent across the arc of your sort of 8 semesters. And so, that's one thing. And the other thing, I just want to open that up to the panelists here. What does success academic success look like in the first year? And how should first year students think about academic success, working with faculty members, building their board, that sort of elements as they walk in the door as a first year student?
This is my wheelhouse. This is what we do here at the Academic Resource Center. You know, I have a lot of responses in terms of what academic success looks like. And a big part of it is not being afraid to ask for help, which, we will say over and over again in this in this webinar, but looking for ways to figure out how you learn. We've all been through an education system, and the transition from high school to college is going to look different for everybody and is likely going to look different than you're expecting it to be. There are things that may be unexpected about the learning process here at Duke. And learning is a skill set. It's not magic, it's a process. And we here at the ARC, this is what we do. We help you figure out what learning looks like for you. And that is a huge core piece of being academically successful. We offer, as I mentioned, the SAGE learning communities is one of the services that we have, but we also have peer tutoring, including small group peer tutoring, which again allows you to work with your peers. We have learning consultations, and these are near and dear to my heart. They're an opportunity for you to sit down one-on-one with one of our professional learning consultants and have a conversation and say, okay, this is what works. This is what doesn't. We work with time management, figuring out how to balance everything that's going on, just understanding what learning looks like for you. We've recently started a new service, which is also called the Voice Lab, and that's helping you understand how to communicate and give presentations, which you will be giving many of while you're here at Duke. And it's an opportunity for you to level that up. All of these things come together to help you figure out what do you need to be as successful as possible. And we are one of many resources here available, but we are here entirely to help you do your best and take advantage of all of these resources. That's the biggest thing I would say.
Hey, Reed, can you let us know what the acronym SAGE stands for?
Yes, it is STEM advancement through group engagement. It's only taken me 10 years to be able to do that without pausing. But it is really about looking at how you engage and learn in STEM courses specifically, but in the group and community context.
And I know you work with a range of learning abilities, and you really work with students one-on-one, but what is your relationship with the Students with Disabilities Office in the ARC? And how do students that are coming in with accommodations get those accommodations met?
Absolutely. So the Student Disability Access Office is the place to go. They are the ones who handle all of accommodations. They are the ones who go through the process of applying for accommodations, tell you kind of what accommodations are available, what documentation you need, and actually get those implemented. So Student Disability Access is the go-to place. That's your starting point. We work very closely with them. We do a lot of support for our neurodiverse student body. And a really big part of that is we take on the learning side of things. You get the accommodations in place, come to the ARC, especially meet with the learning consultants, and we'll help you figure out how do you actually use these and how do you implement them in a way that's going to be most successful for you.
Thank you.
I'm such a big fan of our resources. I think the ARC that we just talked about, it's one of my favorite resources here at Duke. It's an incredible resource that I think every student should use. And we have so many fantastic resources. If you happen to be, for instance, an international student, I highly encourage you to use the Duke International Student Center. They're also here in Smith Warehouse, a few bays down from Duke Life. I have fantastic colleagues down there. And what they do, they provide a physical space for community, lots of events and programming, bringing the international student population together. They do really great things with cooking and food. They've got a kitchen and advocacy and just great knowledge about how to navigate Duke and really make the most of it if you're an international student. And of course, if you're a Duke Life student, then please use our resources. Again, we will litter you with the emails. I want you to be aware of the things that we have that help you succeed in your classes. For instance, if you need a laptop, you can borrow one from us for 4 years, right? Keep the same laptop up until you graduate. Every semester, you can apply to us for a voucher to help you buy your course materials for one class. Things are expensive. Use our money before you use yours, all right? And then we also, we work with the ARC on a STEM tutoring program where if you are going to SAGE, and I want you to go to SAGE, I want you to go to group tutorial. And if you're doing those things, you realize like, hey, there's some content that I am less experienced with that everyone's talking about, and I need some help with that, before I go back to my next stage session, then come to Duke Life and we can connect you with a STEM tutor. So you can do that one-on-one tutoring to help you kind of make the most advantage of things like SAGE and peer tutoring.
I should also add, we have a writing studio as well, and that's in the Thompson Writing Program. But those writing studios support students with their writing. And I should actually say, speaking of writing, this has kind of been a transformational moment in higher education with AI and stuff. But our own academic resource center has got what's it, brain first learning with AI. Can you tell a little bit about that, Reed?
Absolutely. We've been working on this for the last couple of years because we realized this is something that's out there, and so our goal is, as I said before, to help you all as students figure out how to learn. And so we spent some time thinking about how do we frame this in a way that's going to be useful for students. You'll hear lots of things when you get here about where you use it, where you don't, but the idea is that. And this is based initially on some research that came out of MIT about a year or two ago. If you engage your brain first and then figure out how to work with AI, how to work with the tools that are available to you, you are going to get so much more out of the entire process. The goal that we approached it with was looking at how do you make sure that you can access and use the tools without undermining the process that you have to go through to learn, such as productive struggle. So we created something called the AI Toolkit, which is a series of prompts, and we're constantly growing and developing it. It's on our website, and it's just examples of how to think through what a prompt would look like that's brain first. What can you do in advance before you actually then turn to the tools that are out there and available? And then how can the tools help you level up versus undermining what you're doing as a student?
Yeah, I mean, that's something we've been grappling with on the administration side, on the education side, is how do we enable our students to use these large language models in a productive way, opposed to just in a consumption way? We don't want them just to be consumers, we want them to be producers. But it is incumbent for each first-year student in their classroom to be crystal clear with the professors, because we have some professors that are all in, and we have some professors that are all out, and everything in the middle. Like people that are conscious objectors, like they are ethically against it, and others like, hey, we want you to learn it. So just be very explicit about what are the sort of the rules of the road with using artificial intelligence in your classrooms, because I will tell you, it will be different in one classroom and another. And so we don't have a full-on policy, and we probably never will. Trinity Quad advisors and your 360 advisors for Pratt are really going to be very important to develop that relationship. They're going to be on your board, if you will, as well as career services and again, study abroad. Think widely and broadly about your education and the people that can help advise you. Anything else, panelists, that we want to talk about this in terms of success?
I think I'll quickly touch. I think everyone mentioned really great things. The writing studio. I mean, I did Sage as a student, and just like Dr. Baker just said, you've got your advisors through Trinity and Pratt that are there for you. And I think some of you will start speaking with them over the summer. And as you kind of go into the year, making informed choices and just reflecting on everything related to your Duke journey. So I think also just wanting to remind you that there are opportunities for pre-law and pre-health advising if that's specific to you and things that you're interested in that Duke offers. So really just recommend kind of checking out those opportunities that we have for specific careers or interests that you might have.
I know it seems like a lot, and we're throwing a lot at you. We tried not to use acronyms, because at big corporations or universities or whatever, acronyms just get thrown around. We know what they are, but if you're coming in, you don't. So we've been trying to do that. So it does seem a little overwhelming. However, I want to ask our panelists, what one thing do you wish every student understood before arriving to campus? And I'm going to start. I think every student should have a to-do list and a not to-do list, because so many students are talented across, many different facets of their lives. They may have sung a cappella, they may have been a varsity athlete, they may have been on the debate club, but you can't do everything at Duke and do it and kind of do it well. And so to say, I did have a great run singing a cappella, I'm not going to do that in college, even though you're really good at it, because all of our students are so talented across so many things. Just being okay and not spreading yourself super thin is important. So try different things, and if you choose some things deliberately and sort of intentionally, but you don't have to do it. That's my kind of advice. Anyone else want to chime in on that?
Yeah,
I'll
I'll try.
piggyback. Sorry,
Oh,
go
no.
ahead, Ariana.
Do you want to go ahead? Okay, I'll really quickly, I'll just mention kind of similar to what we read, sorry, not read, what Dr. Baker just mentioned. It's so easy to get into everything. And sometimes as a student, I would think a little bit about treating each semester as my own sort of season in a TV show. So there might be things that I did in
Oh,
this
that's
one
good.
season and I had a little bit of an arc and I tried it. And I was like, okay, not for the next season. So maybe just dip your toes in if you're like, oh, I want to come back to this for a little bit, but I don't have the ability to continue it over my entire 4 years. No one's holding you to those standards. But there's just little things at Duke that might be like unexplained norms, all the ways we refer to things and acronyms and all that sort of stuff. So there's a really great resource that we have called Hidden Curriculum, and it's just a website that covers so many conversations, and you're hearing directly from students as well. They're talking about, you know, courses and how do I know what I'm interested in and what I want to study and how do I figure out my interest in that way? How do I prepare for class? All these resources with the Academic Resource Center and Duke Life that we've mentioned and embracing what is unfamiliar. So I just wanted to start and mention that resource for you guys, and just know there's so many things that I'm learning about after graduating that I'm like, I can't believe I missed that. But it's, yeah, there's just a lot. So.
I definitely wanted Ariana to jump in there first, simply because she's got the on the ground lived experience, which far supersedes anything that I'm about to say. And so that's definitely, I mean, I think eh, don't do all the things. I love this season of a television show. That is such a
I like that too.
fantastic metaphor. Yes, that is perhaps not going to be the last time that you hear that used now, but that is fantastic, because the reality is that there are so many things you'll never be able to do all of them, and that's fine. The biggest, most important thing I think I would say is explore, test the boundaries, try things you've never tried before. You're going to end up on the other side of this, and you will have an education. You will have an education from Duke. You will have had things that have gone really well in the process. You will have had things that have not gone as expected, sometimes with a positive income outcome. Sometimes it's not always as positive, but that's all part of the process. And so don't be afraid to explore and really see what's out there that you've never even imagined. When you come into Duke as a first year student, there are courses that are going to be available that you never imagined could actually be a college course. And so coming in thinking, okay, I need to check all the boxes. Throw the boxes out the window. See what's in front of you. See what speaks to you. Have fun with it. Try not to stress too much. That's a big ask, I do realize. But really take this opportunity to see what sparks for you and to dig a little bit deeper into that. And like I said, sometimes that will go really well, sometimes that won't, but you're going to learn a lot no matter what. And on the other side, you're going to be able to look back and say, oh yeah, I tried these things, and maybe you'll find something new along the way.
I love that. What I want you to know is that by design, college, you cannot do college by yourself. Okay.
Mm.
By design, you have to be collaborating with fellow students, with your faculty, and with administrators like those of us who are here on the call. And what that means is that if you're using your resources, so all the resources we mentioned, plus all the other ones, and you're asking for help, that's the big one. If you're doing those two things, that is actually a strength. That's not a weakness. That's what you're supposed to do here in college, right? This place is designed to make sure that to succeed, you've got to ask for help. You've got to use your resources. So if you are struggling and you're struggling by yourself, that's actually a sign that you've got to come and talk to us, right? You should not, please don't be struggling by yourself or suffering in silence, okay?
think I just want to end. I really agree with a lot of what Sashel said. I mean, there's so many ways and so many people you can lean on, and you have an opportunity to really be your own Duke Blue Devil. There's so many pathways to success and belonging and what matters to you and different ways to get there. And I've also been thinking a lot about, you have your own fingerprint, and in my mind, it's like your Duke blueprint, something that maybe is a little similar to someone else. You have a few similarities here and there, but at the end of the day, it's completely your own and you're building it from the ground up, even starting now. And so, yeah, just take your time and reinvent yourself whenever you need to and switch gears, but uh, always reach out and try and connect with others and kind of create your own identity for yourself while you're here. And there's just so many ways to do that, which is awesome.
Yeah, I kind of like that. That there's a million ways to be a Duke Blue Devil. If like if you do a Rubik's cube or whatever. I mean, you can do this, you can do that, you can double major, you can do that, you can have this experience, you can do that. And change even over time is like discernment and knowledge building. Like and I should also say, an A minus and a B is not failure at all, even though a lot of students feel that. that is, pushing yourself and learning, actually learning, and that should be a point of joy. That's what we want to sort of create. So, Catherine, I think that we'll come back to you and open up for some questions and answers. We're just about on time, I think.
Yeah, we are just about on time. I was not part of the panelists, but I just dropped in the chat one of the favorite projects I have done in the last year. It's a little video on our Instagram page called Be Your Own Blue Devil, which I think really captures everything you all just said about what it means to be a first year student at Duke and how you can navigate that. While you're there checking that video out, I highly recommend following us because you will be able to get a lot of information throughout the year through our Instagram feed. But I have flagged some questions for our panelists that came in through our conversation. And the first one is about SAGE. So Reed, I'm going to kick it to you because I think you'll be best fit to answer this. Is SAGE something you have to apply to, or is it a general resource for all students?
Great question. It's a general resource for all students to be a SAGE participant. We open up the signups for SAGE 2 weeks into classes. That's right at the end of drop ad, and that way everybody's got their classes figured out. And it is a first come, first serve, but we work very, very hard to make sure that everybody who wants to get into a SAGE group has the opportunity to get into a SAGE group. So you have to sign up, but there's not an application process. Occasionally for something like chemistry, every once in a while we might have a wait list, but we clear those wait lists out as fast as we can. So as long as you are in the course that semester, you're able to sign up for a SAGE group.
Great, thank you. I'm gonna respond to this one, but I want any panelists to weigh in as well. We had someone ask, when will students have a chance to meet with their Trinity advisors? And Mathavi, who's the head of the quad advisors for Trinity, sent me their timeline before this meeting or before this webinar. And advising meetings should be scheduled between the first advising meeting, I think there will be many, would be scheduled between June 15th and July 29th. So they've started already. You should have gotten your assignment for your Trinity advisor on June 11th. So double check your correspondence to see who your advisor is and how to reach out and make an appointment with them. There's a question that Grace is responding to right now about room size and dimensions. Let me mark these. But the Q&A is open. If anyone has any questions, you can feel free to drop them in the Q&A. I'll give it a second. All right, well, okay, great. How do students get involved in the arts get involved, and are there groups to reach out to over the summer? Well, there is a group on campus called Duke Arts. I will drop the link in the chat for that. This is both like public-facing performances that happen on campus and for the Durham community. But there are also ways for students to take kind of like one-off courses for like drop-in arts that our Duke Arts create that you can find on that webpage as well for Duke Arts. And then Grace might be able to give you more information about the student-led arts organizations through Duke Groups. That's a student affairs side of things.
And then, there's countless like dance groups and other sort of what we call recreational arts, but we also have academic art, so you can take classes in in a whole range of artistic genres. So that's it too.
I will
Definitely.
actually weigh in a little bit on this. That there's often opportunities once you're here, that there are often visiting artists which come through with some of the performing artists groups. Some of the Duke Presents performances will often have visiting artists that will meet with students. I've known a couple students who have worked on projects with some of the artists who have come through. So there, at every possible level, there's a way of engaging with the arts when you get here.
Mhm. We had a question about how and when will students have the opportunity to meet with a pre-health advisor. I'm going to drop the link to the pre-health advising again. I believe in their FAQ, they have information about when it's appropriate for first year students to reach out to their office. They do a lot of like intro sessions for pre-health advising early on in that first like month of school. For Pratt students, it is unclear to me how the focus program works. Lee, do you have information about Pratt students and focus? Is that an offering they have available to them?
I should know that. Things have been changing a little bit, and so we can get back to, you can go to the focus program, they could probably explain it. So I'm not actually sure on the distinctions right now, but I'm pretty sure Pratt students can choose and participate in the focus program.
Grace has chatted and said that it is possible they need to contact their Pratt dean to understand the work-life balance of signing up for a focus cluster in their first year.
They don't do constellations, so that is clear.
Right, they don't do
That's just Trinity.
So for the Pratt student who asked that question, reach out to your Pratt dean or one of your 360 advisors and they can give you more information. The recording will be sent out. I think Grace responded to that maybe in like 48 hours. They're going to transcribe it and put it back onto the website where you registered for this event. There's a housing question, Grace. Will the chats be included in the recording? No, but I have something that I created. Let me find it, the link to that. I created all of the links I've been sharing here today in one downloadable document. So I just dropped the link to that in this chat. So you should be able to download that PDF from there and have all the links to all the things we talked about today. I'm scrolling through. Sorry, y'all, we don't have any information about dorm sizes and dorm things, but Grace will point you in the right direction. Audition information for orchestral groups. Grace, Cody, I believe that's going to be a student affairs response that happens during one of the welcome weeks, I believe. Immunization records, again, that will be a student affair question. Where can we find a guide? Oh, Ariana, someone has directed a question right to you. They want to know what's one piece of underrated advice for undergrads.
That is a good question. I feel like I will also note I came into Duke, graduated in 2024, so I started in 2020 with COVID. So I had a really heightened sort of awareness of being involved in a campus that, I mean, the entire place, there's a pandemic, separation. How do I really make sure that I'm involved? So I like to joke that there was probably not a corner of Duke that I left untouched. Like I really, really tried to do everything that I could. And I think that really stemmed from reading my email a lot. I was definitely the friend in the friend group saying, hey Enzo, I just saw this thing that is directly related to like what you're interested in, just sending this to you. And it's like, oh, I didn't even notice that. And there's probably names of instructors and staff and faculty on campus that I will probably remember forever because I always read their emails, whether it's from wellness or Duke groups or the arts groups. I think it's just really helpful to kind of keep track on what is happening on campus. And the best way to do that is staying on top of a lot of the information that's being sent to you. In the random moments wherever I was, I just tried to open up an email, and I think I learned about a lot of really cool Duke opportunities that some people just missed because I was always trying to keep on top of that information. So, yeah, just keeping your eyes open and engaging with a lot of the people you interact with at Duke across the board can really open you up to a lot of really interesting opportunities and things I probably would have never have done otherwise. And I just happened to come across it.
Yeah, Ariana, our office sends a weekly short list every Monday morning. I write it, well, and my colleague, we both write it. But it gets sent out and it gives you like 5 things that happen one every day of the week throughout the week. And there you can just see when you start getting those, just the variety. There is really something for everyone, and you get to really sample a little bit of everything Duke has to offer. But you are automatically enrolled in the shortlist, so don't worry, you'll get it that first week of classes. Um, okay, I'm reading through all of your questions. I really am. A lot of them are not in our wheelhouse, and I'm sure that Grace will point you in the right direction if they're more about immunizations or dorms. That would be more student affairs. Or laptop from OIT, or is this only for a specific set of students? Um, Seychelle, do you want to talk again about Duke Life and who is a Duke Life student and when they would know they're a Duke Life student? Um, I'll let you respond to that.
Absolutely. So again, Duke Life is an office for first generation and or lower income students. If you are a Duke Life student, you should know by now. We've sent emails and paper mail communications to all Duke Life students. If it happens to be that your financial aid is taking longer to get processed, then we may be receiving your information in the next few weeks. But we do email frequently throughout the year. So if you have questions about, hey, am I a Duke Life student? Am I on your roster? Please email us at dukelife.duke.edu and we'll check our records and confirm with you. And if we need to escalate to financial aid to have them look at something, we are happy to do that. In terms of the loaner laptop, that program that I talked about is only eligible to our Duke Life students who are lower income. We will send out an email to all Duke Life students who are eligible for those financial resources. Sent a date. I think it's early in August so that you have time to plan for the fall semester as well. But if you have any questions about your eligibility, then please reach out.
And if you want recommendations, I do believe the OIT will email throughout the summer on recommendations for laptops if you're purchasing a new laptop for your student heading into their Duke career. Okay. Oh, maybe we could answer this. There seems to be several classes my child wants to sign up for that are already full. How does that work for scheduling? Is is it just that they sign up for a class when it opens, even if it's not that much of an interest to them? Does anyone want to talk about wait list and things like that?
Jump in and do my best. I'm having been for at one point, I was also an advisor. So there will be classes that, especially as a first year student, your student or you as a student may not be able to get into. The first thing I'm going to say is it's okay. It is fine. Even if you feel that you must get into this course your first semester, that or everything else falls apart. It is designed in such a way that that is not going to be the case. So you'll be fine. What I recommend if you have a great plan and then you discover something is not open that you were going to take is take something else. Find something that is something you've never taken before. And there will be courses. Everything you take in your first year is going to count for something. You have your core curriculum, so you have your general education requirements in addition to the major requirements you'll be fulfilling as you go along the way. But there's literally, when I was advising, I would tell my incoming first year students, don't even think about, well, am I fulfilling this, that, or the other? Because literally everything you take is going to fulfill a requirement. So I don't recommend taking a course that you're not interested in, but I do recommend finding something that maybe you hadn't thought about taking before.
Oh, I can answer. There's a question here about a mentoring program, student mentoring program for students who are not Duke Life students. Yeah, there is one. It's actually run by students, and let me make sure it's not run by our office. And I apologize if we may be focused on things that were part of our portfolio. But I just got a link today from Duke Student Government. That the sign up for Duke Blue Devils closes tomorrow. So it's called Blue Devil Buddies. I misspoke. Blue Devil Buddies. And I'm finding the link for you so that I can drop that in the chat. Apologies for that. But yes, everyone can have a mentor at Duke. Duke Blue Devil Buddies. And your student should have received communication from the Blue Devil Buddies already. I know we sent a notification about it as well to all the incoming first year students, but that's the link that takes you right there. And I think the deadline to sign up is tomorrow.
And I should also just say, use the faculty that are structurally integrated into your faculty in residence or quad as sort of a first line of mentorship, if you will. But also I want to shout out to like the Mary Lou Williams Center, the Multicultural Center, and there's a lot of different centers and places around Duke. The research, it's called Research for Indigenous Studies and Engagement. There's just a lot of resources and people around. So everyone has a faculty in residence, as well as that faculty in residence is paired with the quad faculty member of the quad that's associated with the first year residence hall. So that's a first sort of level of mentorship that you should avail yourself to.
Sorry, y'all. I'm getting through your questions. I am, I promise. So there have been a couple of questions about financial aid. We are not the office that can respond to that, but you're.
But they have in Duke Hub, they have a financial aid advisor. Everyone has it, whether you apply it or not. So that would be the first person that they should contact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that might be a general number. Duke, and I can give you the direct link to the Karsh the Karsh office for undergraduate financial aid. I'll drop that into the chat now as well.
As Catherine is looking, I want to reinforce something that Lee just said. And as you notice, Catherine is adding links and things to areas that fall outside of us. One of the things I also always tell first year students is, if you have a question, you're not sure who to ask, just find somebody. There's so many different resources on campus, and it doesn't matter if it's the right person to talk to. Ask somebody the question, faculty and residents, your advisor, a learning consultant, someone in the Duke Life office, a peer mentor. They will help you figure out who the right person is to get your answer. And so I always say, don't worry and don't not ask things because you don't know if it's the right person. Everybody's the right person. Find that person, and eventually they'll get you to where you need to be.
Yeah. There was a question, I think I scrolled past a little bit, that is there like a portal where you can find everything? No, not yet.
You can ask Claude.
You can ask Claude. There is a Duke GPT that has been worked on over the years. there are places where like there's a portal for all of the undergraduate research opportunities. There's a portal for all of the study away things, like, but there's
And a big portal for all Duke groups. That's a huge
right.
portal. So
All
all the Duke
groups.
groups are in one place.
Yeah, Duke Hub for all of your classes. There have been a couple questions about class registration. The first year students, incoming first year students, are the last group of students to register. So all of the seniors, juniors, and sophomores, they all registered for their fall classes in the spring before they left for summer break. So that's why when you're looking through Duke Hub, you're seeing some classes are already full. There are also some classes that are held closed for specific groups, like if there's going to be a group studying down at the Marine Lab this fall, you would need a special code to register for that. So it may look full, but that's because only students with the code can register for it, if they're going to be in a special place or outside of Durham. Yes, that answered some of those. Yes, there isn't one portal to rule them all, but I do highly recommend checking out the Duke recommended. Let me see if I can find that link for you. AI tools. They have been working on a suite of AI tools. I just dropped that into your into the chat so that you can see the Duke GPT and other tools. If you are AI curious, you can dig around through there and see what Duke recommends and what they support. I think there are even some opportunities to get like API keys if you're interested in building and developing your own AI model. There. Yes, Reed. There was a question asking for clarification on the programs that we talked about today, which require application as opposed to which are open. I know Seychelle clarified Duke Life, but could you talk a little bit about the ARC?
Absolutely. ARC services are open to everybody. We serve all undergraduate students. It doesn't matter what year you are, it doesn't matter what area you are studying. They are free and available to everybody. You just have to sign up. And so that's something that I should have probably said right up front at the very beginning, but all of the services that I've listed are available to all undergraduate students. And again, highly recommend, seeing what we have and what we do. So there's no need to be in a certain, major, for example, or you can only take advantage of this your first year. The only thing that has a restriction around it are our tutoring and SAGE groups, but that's only because they're course related. So if you're not in the course, then you can't be in the group, but that is the only restriction that we have in terms of accessing our services.
Great. Thanks, Reed. Let's see. When should they reach out to pre-professional advisors? I would check each of the pre-professional advising's web pages. They typically have like open house information sessions within the first couple of weeks of school, and that would be a way to get a lot of information up front. I would say for the most part in your first semester of your first year, you or your students might not need to be deep in with their pre-professional advisor just yet. But there are some general information sessions so that if you feel like you might be missing something, you can get the big, broad stroke things in your first semester and then dig in a little deeper with the pre-professional advisors later on.
And pretty much the other thing with the pre-health is chemistry placement is important in your first year. So that one element of when you start and what level you start chemistry is something that should be discerned.
So shall we have a Duke Life student that's curious if they could get confirmation for when the mentorship form would open up?
I don't have an exact date yet. It is in July, and unlike Ascend, this isn't limited. As long as you apply for it, we will do everything we can to match you with a mentor. So there's a little bit less time pressure there. The big thing that I would say is just keep checking your Duke email. That's probably the next kind of key to success now and for the next 4 years. Just keep checking and reading everything you can in your Duke email.
Yeah.
That seems obvious. Let me just say that one more time. Read your Duke email. We have a lot of students that somehow that's not a priority.
Lee, you opened a can of words. Can you give more information about chemistry for pre-health majors?
Oh, so if you go on the pre-health website, I think they do talk about chemistry, and if not, we'll get some information on there as soon as possible. But yeah, if you had AP chemistry, you go into one. If you didn't, you go into the other. And if you had no chemistry, you go into, I think, Chem 99. And so that chemistry placement just is something to be mindful of. And if you don't do it in your first semester, that's not the end of the world, but you're going to eventually have to take chemistry up to biochemistry and starting where your placement is, just like math placement, we've been working on that as well, is important. So both math and chemistry placement.
Yes, and Grace has reminded me that there is a specific one of these webinars just for pre-health on July 14th. So if you're in the room today and you have more pre-health questions or what classes to take, who to talk to and when, register for that July 14th webinar. Are certain softwares free for Duke students? I saw that Canva Premium wasn't, but I heard that Microsoft Office is free for student accounts. Canva Premium isn't, but you do get access to the Adobe Creative Suite for free. Or as part of your Duke tuition, I guess nothing's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Canva, you can get a student account with Canva, and it is free. Did
Yes,
they
you
change
can.
that?
Yes, you can get a student account with Canva. That's true. That is accurate.
Yeah.
Yes, Duke Life has an Instagram and a Facebook account that we can follow. Yes, I dropped the Duke Instagram earlier. I'll drop it again. Sashel, while I'm finding that, do you want to talk a little bit about the Duke Life student organization versus the Duke Life office?
Yeah, quickly, there are two Duke Lives on campus. It's not confusing at all, but we work together. In fact, I advise the Duke Life student organization. They do lots of fantastic community building events. We work together. We do a big celebration in November, One July Awareness Week. So look out again in your Duke email, and you can follow them in addition to us on Instagram. They are at Duke Life org. We're at Duke Life office. A lot of similarities there. But look out for the big fall dinner for the whole Duke Life community in November.
Is there, Grace, is there going to be a summer transition series for pre-law? It should be on if no, there will not be one. There's some questions. I think Grace is responding to the questions about Constellation courses. I don't know the details about Constellation. That's run by Trinity's advising office. How to buy a textbook. Looks like Cody's responding to that. Yes, Sashel, one more question about Duke Ascend. It seems like it's full. Can you talk about how applicants are accepted? Is it first come, first serve?
Yes, it was first come, first serve. It is full right now. We took 80. My plan was to take 30, but there was so much demand that I just took more and I decided I'll figure it out on the back end. So you can still sign up for the wait list. If students decide not to participate, then we'll let students in off the wait list. But don't worry, if you miss out on Ascend, there are so many ways to get connected with Duke Life that we will take really good care of you. And so come to the Duke Life office, but also join the Duke Life org.
Awesome. I think it's 5 o'clock, y'all. Let me find the link one more time to where you can download the link list. Someone just asked how parents can get involved. I believe Grace's office, New Student Family Programs, sends a parents newsletter regularly. There might also be I don't know if there is a group outside. Grace would probably, she is just typing to your question right now in the Q&A. So parents who are interested in getting involved, stay tuned for information from the New Student and Family Programs office. I think that is clear. The FAQ or the Q&A. There are some questions coming in about insurance. I don't know about that. I'm sorry. Yes. Um, you can definitely, Duke Life is amazing. And there are similar communities offered to all students. If you check out Duke groups, you can find all of the Duke communities and offices on campus for student organizations for Duke students and undergraduates. Um, cool. Grace, I think I have responded to all the questions that I can answer. Um,
Wonderful.
that we
That
can
was
respond to.
a lot. Thank you so, so much to our panelists. You all covered so much ground, and I'm really appreciative for the wisdom that was shared, as well as some of the hard facts and details. As you students and families have heard, there's a lot to understand at Duke, and we hope you came away also knowing you don't have to know everything right now. There are people here to support you. There's lots of information and resources. Um, there was one point we had the whole chat cleared, and then now I'm talking, so I can't respond behind the scenes. All that to say, if we did not give you the answer that you don't think we answered your question, please email our office. So that is why my office exists. You can email us at studentorientation@duke.edu. Sometimes we're going to direct you to another office who is the expert, right? But we can help you figure out where are those deadlines, where are those people, how do I get in touch with this person? So again, if you feel like your question is not answered, please reach out to us, including that parent asking about engagement. Tell me more about what type of engagement, and I might be able to direct you to different places. So again, huge thank you to our panelists today for your time. We really appreciate it. I know everyone on this screen is so excited to welcome all of you students and your families here in August. To our students and families, thank you again for tuning in. Give us 48 hours. We will post this back on the website where you registered. That is also the same place you can register for future summer transition series, webinars for students, and parent family orientation webinars for our families. And we will send reminders in the respective newsletters, the student newsletters and the family ones about upcoming sessions. So with that, we're going to log off. Thank you all so much. Have a great one.